Hello everyone, welcome back to English for Life podcast. I'm Charlotte Kingsley, and today we're diving into a topic that affects many language learners: why we freeze in real conversations and how to train against it. Have you ever been in a situation where someone asks you a simple question in English, and suddenly your mind goes blank? You know the words, you understand the question, but you just can't seem to say anything. That moment of silence can feel frustrating, embarrassing, and even discouraging. But what if I told you that this freezing is a very natural reaction and, more importantly, that you can train your brain to overcome it? Let's start by understanding what really happens in your brain when you freeze during a conversation. When we talk to someone, especially in a second language, our brain is juggling multiple tasks at once, understanding the other person's words, thinking about the right vocabulary, forming grammatically correct sentences, and deciding how to say it all fluently. It's no wonder sometimes your brain gets overwhelmed and hits the pause button. This mental overload triggers your body's natural freeze response, similar to what happens in stressful or threatening situations. Your brain perceives the conversation as a challenge or even a kind of threat, and instead of responding quickly, it temporarily shuts down to protect you from making mistakes or looking foolish. But here's a crucial insight: freezing is not a sign of failure or lack of ability. It's simply a signal that your brain needs better training to handle the pressure. The good news is, you can strengthen your mental muscle through specific techniques designed to reduce anxiety, increase confidence, and improve automatic response skills. One powerful way to do this is by practicing chunking learning and using small groups of words or phrases that naturally go together, instead of trying to build sentences word by word. For example, instead of thinking, I like watch movies, your brain will retrieve the chunk I like watching movies as one ready-made piece. This technique speeds up your speaking and reduces the mental load, making freezing much less likely. Another vital factor is improving your working memory. Working memory is like your brain's scratch pad. It holds and processes information in real time while you're speaking. When your working memory is overloaded, it becomes harder to form sentences quickly. You can improve this by doing exercises that train your brain to handle multiple pieces of information at once, such as repeating phrases backward or summarizing short stories verbally. Strengthening this skill makes your brain more agile, helping you avoid freezing moments. Also, your mindset plays a huge role. If you approach speaking English with fear of making mistakes or negative self-talk like "I'm not good enough," your brain's stress levels increase, triggering the freeze. But if you reframe your thinking, reminding yourself that mistakes are part of learning and that your brain is actively improving every time you speak, your confidence will grow. This positive mindset lowers anxiety and opens the door for smoother conversations. It's important to remember that real conversations are unpredictable. Native speakers don't speak in perfect grammar or full sentences all the time, and they often use slang, pauses, and filler words. Getting comfortable with this natural flow takes exposure and practice. Listening to real English conversations, shadowing speakers, and practicing speaking in low-pressure environments can help your brain adapt to this dynamic style, making freezing less common. You might be wondering how all of this comes together practically. Imagine training your brain daily with short speaking drills focused on common phrases and realistic dialogue. Over time, your brain will recognize these patterns and respond automatically. Combining this with mental rehearsal, imagining conversations in your head, can also prepare you for real situations, reducing the surprise element that causes freezing. Now, one more point to consider is your breathing and physical state. When you feel nervous, your breathing becomes shallow, which reduces oxygen to your brain, making it harder to think clearly. Practicing deep, controlled breathing before and during conversations calms your nervous system, helping your mind stay sharp and responsive. All of these aspects, chunking, working memory, mindset, exposure, mental rehearsal, and physical control, are interconnected. By working on them simultaneously, you can train your brain to be faster, more confident, and less likely to freeze during real English conversations. The key is consistent, deliberate practice and self-compassion during the process. So, as you continue your English learning journey, keep in mind that freezing is not a roadblock but a signal guiding you on what to improve. Embrace the challenge, train your brain with effective techniques, and watch your speaking skills flourish naturally over time. The conversation flow you desire is well within your reach, and your brain is ready to help you get there. Let's keep moving forward with these ideas, because mastering this skill will open up a whole new world of communication for you. There's so much more to explore and practice, and together we'll uncover the best ways to build your confidence and fluency step by step. Building on everything we've discussed, let's dive even deeper into practical ways you can train your brain and body to prevent freezing during real English conversations. One of the most important strategies involves creating mental scripts and practicing them regularly. Think of these as rehearsed responses or mini dialogues that you can call upon when you feel the pressure rising. By having a set of ready-made phrases for common situations, greetings, introductions, expressing opinions, agreeing or disagreeing, you reduce the cognitive load on your brain. Instead of scrambling for words, your brain retrieves these scripts almost automatically, which keeps the conversation flowing naturally. This is directly tied to the concept of automaticity, the ability of your brain to perform tasks with little conscious thought after enough practice. To develop this automaticity, repetition is key. But not just any repetition, it must be intentional and focused practice. Mindlessly repeating words won't cut it. You want to practice these phrases in varied contexts, different tones and speeds, imagining real-life situations as vividly as possible. This will strengthen the neural pathways in your brain associated with those phrases, making them more accessible under stress. Incorporating role-playing with a friend or tutor can significantly amplify this effect, providing real-time feedback and helping you get comfortable with unpredictable conversational twists. Another layer to add is training your brain's ability to predict language. During fluent conversations, native speakers constantly predict what their partner might say next, allowing them to prepare responses quickly. For language learners, building this predictive skill reduces moments of hesitation or freezing. You can practice this by listening to dialogues and trying to guess the next sentence before it's spoken, or by engaging in interactive exercises where you anticipate questions or statements. This forward-thinking mindset helps your brain stay one step ahead, minimizing awkward pauses. In addition, we can't ignore the impact of emotional regulation and stress management techniques. Because freezing is often a physiological reaction to anxiety, calming your nervous system directly influences your ability to speak smoothly. Techniques like progressive muscle relaxation, mindfulness meditation, and grounding exercises are incredibly effective. For example, before entering a conversation, take a moment to perform deep diaphragmatic breathing or focus on feeling your feet on the ground. These small actions send signals to your brain that you're safe and in control, which suppresses the freeze response. There's also a fascinating concept from cognitive psychology called desensitization through exposure. It means that repeated exposure to the feared situation, in this case, speaking English in real time, gradually reduces the anxiety associated with it. Starting with low-pressure speaking environments, like talking to yourself in front of a mirror, recording your voice, or chatting with a patient language partner, can build your tolerance. Over time, this repeated exposure rewires your brain's threat perception, turning what once caused freezing into a familiar, manageable task. Now, let's talk about the importance of building vocabulary and phrase banks specifically targeted for speaking fluency. Many learners freeze because they lack the vocabulary that feels ready to use in spontaneous speech. Instead of focusing on learning thousands of isolated words, concentrate on high-frequency, practical phrases and collocations that fit everyday conversations. This targeted approach boosts your confidence and speeds up word retrieval during live interactions. A useful exercise here is shadowing listening to native speakers and immediately repeating what they say, matching their speed, intonation, and rhythm. Shadowing trains your brain and mouth muscles simultaneously, improving your ability to process and produce language in real time. Over time, this helps your brain link listening and speaking more seamlessly, which reduces hesitation and freezes. Physical preparation is often overlooked but equally critical. Your posture, facial expressions, and breathing patterns all influence your mental state. Standing or sitting upright with relaxed shoulders improves oxygen flow to your brain and sends a signal of confidence to your nervous system. Smiling slightly, even if forced at first, can reduce stress hormones. These nonverbal cues not only help you feel more confident internally but also make you appear more approachable, encouraging better interaction. Another subtle but powerful strategy is learning to use fillers and natural hesitation devices like, "Well, you know," or "Let me think." Instead of freezing when you need a moment to gather your thoughts, these small words give your brain extra time while maintaining the flow of conversation. Native speakers use them constantly, and learning to use fillers appropriately can make you sound more natural and reduce the pressure of speaking perfectly. We should also explore mental imagery and visualization techniques. Visualization is the process of mentally rehearsing successful speaking scenarios, imagining yourself responding calmly and confidently, handling questions smoothly, and keeping the conversation alive. This practice prepares your brain by creating neural patterns associated with success, which helps reduce anxiety and freeze moments during real conversations. Don't underestimate the power of positive self-talk and affirmations. Your internal dialogue shapes your brain's expectations and performance. Instead of allowing thoughts like "I will mess up" or "I can't do this," replace them with encouraging statements like "I'm improving every day" or "I can handle this conversation." These affirmations reprogram your brain to reduce fear and increase resilience. Finally, consistency and patience are your best allies. The brain's ability to overcome freezing improves gradually through repeated, focused practice combined with healthy habits. Incorporating a daily routine that balances listening, speaking, mental rehearsal, and relaxation ensures that your brain develops both the skills and confidence necessary for real-time English conversations. As you embrace these strategies, from building automatic phrase banks and improving working memory, to managing anxiety and practicing prediction, you create a powerful foundation to overcome freezing. Remember, the goal isn't perfection but progress and comfort in using English spontaneously. The more you engage your brain with these varied, interconnected methods, the more fluent and confident your speaking will become. And now, as you go about your day, keep these tips in mind, try to apply them one by one, and watch how your brain gradually rewires itself for smoother, more natural English conversations. This journey is ongoing and dynamic. The more you practice, the stronger your mental muscles get, and the easier it becomes to stay calm and fluent no matter the situation. The path to speaking without freezing is not a mysterious secret but a series of well-understood psychological and neurological processes you can train with intention. Embrace this knowledge, apply it patiently, and you'll find yourself breaking through barriers that once seemed impossible. That's all for today's deep dive into why we freeze in real conversations and how to train ourselves against it. I hope you found these insights and techniques helpful and that you'll start applying some of them in your daily English practice. Remember, speaking fluently is a journey, and every small step you take brings you closer to feeling confident and natural. Keep practicing, stay patient with yourself, and trust the process. Your brain is incredible at adapting with the right mindset and training. Those freeze moments will become fewer and farther between. If you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to hit the like button, leave a comment with your thoughts or questions, and subscribe to the channel so you never miss new content. Your support really helps us keep creating valuable lessons for you. Thanks for listening and being part of this learning experience. Take care and keep moving forward.